Philippines and the world. This is Channel News number 1. It's the 16th of December 2021, fair weather here in the city of Coronadal. There has been a major inquiry from our viewers about the Republic Act number 9275, or better known as the Philippine Clean Water Act. Let us hear first from our reporter live from Almudyan, Iloilo, Micah.
That is true, Gab. There has been a major inquiry on what really is RA 9275. What are its significance? Why is there a need to adhere to it? But first, let us take a look on the backgrounds and the reasons on why is there a need to promulgate RA 9275.
The Philippines is an archipelagic state. It is surrounded by the Celebes, Sulu, Philippine, and the West Philippine Seas. Taal Lake, Agusan River, Maria Cristina Falls, and others are among the country's freshwater resources. These bountiful bodies of water gave rise to numerous pre-Hispanic settlements in the country and were used as a means of trade, commerce, migration, and even conflicts. It also made the farmlands to be suitable for kinds of crops, sources of drinkable water, early and primitive livelihoods, and even influenced the culture of the early Filipinos who lived near a body of water. However, with the rise of industrialization, there were factories, facilities, and establishments built near the bodies of water from the mid and late 19th century until this very day. These infrastructures, though a clear representation of an industrialized and improving nation, also became the agents of environmental destruction. In an article written by Rinkesh, Marilao River, which is located in Bulacan, is the top 6 out of 19 most polluted rivers in the world. Water pollution is not new in the Philippines. Since then, the government has issued numerous orders regulating human activities that threaten the environment. In 1996, 51% of the rivers in the country were still safe. The rest of them, however, are now unsafe for their usual purposes. Hence, the Senate and House of Representatives passed the Senate Bill number 2115 and House number 5398 that seeks to protect, preserve, and save all natural forms and bodies of water in the Philippines. In March 2, 2004, it was signed by then the Philippine President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo and was known thereafter as Republic Act No. 9275 or the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004.
Micah, what are the government agencies that are entrusted in promoting the law?
To answer your question about the government agencies that are responsible for the RA 9275, here is Queen, a member of LGU. Okay. So first, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or the DNR, will be the primary agency charged with the responsibility of leading the Act's development, implementation, and enforcement. So with the help and assistance of the following: the Philippine Coast Guard, the Department of Works and Highways, the Department of Agriculture, Department of Health, and even the DOST or the Department of Science and Technology, the Department of Education, and the CHED, the Commission on Higher Education, and other agencies that would promote awareness of this law and the protection of environment as a whole. The act shall be applied to the management of water quality in all bodies of water, including fresh, brackish, and marine waters. So that's all for the government agencies. Okay, so thank you so much, Queen. Back to you, Gab.
Thank you very much, Micah. On the other hand, we have our correspondent Eric reporting live in Panglao, Bohol. Eric? It seems like Eric is having a problem with the signal. We will just get back to him shortly. Nonetheless, we have Angela live from the Pavia Iloilo to report on prohibited acts and penalties. Angela?
Yes, Gab, the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004, also known as Republic Act No. 9275, points to ensuring the country's water bodies from contamination from land-based sources, businesses and commercial foundations, agribusinesses, and community or household exercises. It gives a comprehensive and coordinated procedure to avoid and minimize contamination through a multi-sectoral and participatory approach including all the partners. The Act prohibits the following: discharging or depositing any water pollutants into the water body, or such will impede natural flow in the water body; discharging, injecting, or allowing it to enter into the soil, anything that will pollute groundwater; operating facilities that discharge regulated water pollutants without valid required permit; disposal of potentially infectious medical waste into the sea by vessel; unauthorized transport or dumping into the waters of sewage sludge or solid waste; transport, dumping, or discharge of prohibited chemicals, substances, or pollutants listed under Toxic Chemical, Hazardous, and Nuclear Waste Control Act or Republic Act Number 6969; discharging regulated water pollutants without the valid required discharge permit pursuant to this Act; non-compliance of the LGU with the Water Quality Framework and the Management Area Action Plan. Here are the penalties described in the law if these activities are done. Every day of infringement will result to the fine of 10,000 pesos, but no less than 200,000 pesos. There will be also fines of between 50,000 pesos and 100,000 pesos each day of gross infringement. For each day that the pollution or omission continues, a punishment of 500,000 pesos is imposed. It is also possible that criminal charges will be filed. Failure or refusal to clean up that causes serious injury or death, or result in irreversible water contamination of surface, ground, coastal, or marine water is punishable by imprisonment for not less than 6 years and 1 day, and a fine of 500,000 pesos per day for each day the contamination or omission continues.
Angela, how this law addresses the wastewater of the domestic and in the micro setting?
The Department of Public Works and Highways, in coordination with the local government units, will prepare a national program on sewage and septage management not later than 12 months from the effectivity of this Act. A priority list will likewise be prepared, which will be the basis for the allotment of funds on an annual basis by the national government for the construction and rehabilitation of required facilities. On the other hand, LGUs are to provide the land, including the road right of the way, for the construction of sewage and/or septage treatment facilities, and raise funds for the operations and maintenance of the said facilities. The Department of Health will formulate guidelines and standards for the collection, treatment, and disposal of sewage, as well as the guideline for the establishment and operation for centralized sewage treatment system. The MWSS and other agencies mandated to provide the water supply and sewerage facilities are required to connect the existing sewage system subject to the payment of sewerage service charge within 5 years following the effectivity of this Act. All sources of the sewage and the septage are required to comply with the law. Back to you, Gab.
Thank you very much, Angela. Now, we will go back to our correspondent live in Panglao, Bohol, reporting the case where the law was really implemented. Eric?
Yes, Gab, I am here right now in Panglao, Bohol, one of the tourist attractions of Region 7. The waters of Panglao are included to the tourist destinations that the DENR called out in 2018 to be unsafe for recreational activities such as swimming. Gab, a recent study had shown that the level of fecal coliform in this beach alone reached 150 to 200 mpn, whereas the acceptable level for swimming is only 100.
The Environmental Management Bureau EMB7 has informed 394 business firms in Region 7 that they are violating the Clean Water Act because they don't have a wastewater treatment facility. As of November 9, 2018, 252 firms were issued a notice of violation with technical conference, while 142 firms were issued a directive to comply. The EMB7 also issued a notice of violation to 337 beach resorts. The bulk of the violators are found in Cebu. Quote, "We initially invited them for a technical conference wherein they were apprised of the acts constituting the violation. There, they were given the opportunity to present justifications or any documentary evidence to refute our findings, unquote, said EMB7 Director William Cuñado. In Panglao, more than 300 hotels and resorts had been issued notices of violation of the Clean Water Act. They were penalized for their negligence and seminarred by the DENR to what really is the Clean Water Act. However, according to a resort owner, there were no updates since then.
In 2018, the DENR Region 7 called out all the resorts and hotels here in Panglao. They inspected and found out that almost all of the resorts have violated the Clean Water Act. They imposed sanction on us and give us a seminar. The local government planned to create a sewage system, but since then there have been no updates.
Eric, were there any cases in the country where the TNR really exerted an effort in rehabilitating the waters?
In 2019, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, led by its Secretary Roy Simato, launched a massive rehabilitation of the historic Manila Bay, promised that the DENR will be strictly implementing the law, the RA 9275, and warned those establishments who do not comply with the said law. Simato further states that the Manila Bay will undergo 3 phases. The first phase being the clean-up and the improvement of water quality, second is the rehabilitation, and the third is protection and sustainment. This action is both the initiative of the government to address the environmental problems of the capital city and as a response to the mandamus ordered by the Supreme Court in 2008. Back to you, Gab.
Thank you very much, Eric. And that is a report on the RA 9275. This is Gabriela Victoria Fecapico, your news anchor, live from the city of Coronadal.
And this is Maika Janela Aligaga, reporting live from Alibuyan, Iloilo.
This is Angela Colampinay, live in Pavia, Iloilo.
And this is Christian Eric Baguio, bringing you the news from Panglao, Bohol.
And once again, this is Channel News number 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, Philippines and the world.